I'm doing it. You didn't even say that.
I did. I did. I said, do you want to kick us off and start?
My name is Jalbagel. I'm joined by my handsome co-host SkojSkull and our ever beautiful guest today, Phemeto.
I don't think everyone has ever said beautiful, so that's a new one.
I mean, I don't know. Look at that face.
You're gorgeous.
I think it's beautiful. So if you guys don't know, this is when I admit my my man crush on Phemeto. I don't think it was. I'll
tell you what, you want to be the first one.
So if you guys don't know Phemeto is a monster hunter. Been doing a little bit of variety streaming, been doing a little bit of modding, been doing a little bit of, I mean, we were just talking about it, GU, a bunch of other stuff. But Phemeto, I know that doesn't encompass your entire shtick. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm Fem. I've been, streaming and YouTubing for like 5 years now, pretty much since just before World came out. I play like a lot of Monster Hunter. Like even before I started streaming and YouTubing, I played a lot of Monster Hunter. And there's only like 2 or 3 types of genre games I actually play. It's Monster Hunter, shooter games, and Souls games. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of gunning in Monster Hunter. I do a lot of gunning in shooter games, and then in any Souls game I play a bow. So that's pretty much all I do is range stuff all the time. So I do my YouTube and streaming stuff. That's literally just that. I like to make guides and help people out because nobody seems like to cover the range stuff in any game, and I do. So nice. That's kind of what I do. I help people with that.
There's only like 2 people I know that even cover that. It's you and Angbada.
Yeah, Aang. Yeah, Aang does it too.
Angbada?
Angbada.
I just call him Aang. He's Avatar Aang.
He's Avatar Aang. That's fair. I always get his name wrong whenever he like comes in with a raid or something. I'm like, hi, Angbada. I was like, fuck. All right, well.
Angle bait.
Angle bait.
I like that one actually. Angle bait.
Angle bait. It's a bait. But yeah, that's awesome. You cover like the super in-depth portion of like LBG, HBG, and the Monster Hunter games a lot.
Well, someone's got to, right? Like literally nobody else does.
No.
Yeah.
And that's how you like.
But it's also they're very unpopular weapons. A lot of people hate the ranged weapons.
A lot of people hate the ranged weapons because of how efficient they are, though. Like people don't like.
I hate them because of how efficient they are right now. Like they're like they're too good for too little effort.
Exactly, because like you see the like amount of effort being put into it and the amount of reward you get out. Like longsword, players, like at least there's still effort put into longsword, right? Like you have to anticipate and react. But bowgun, it's literally aim for the face, hold right trigger.
Well, I mean, if Capcom will give us any other hit zone to hit, we might have something different. But
oh yeah,
like every monster, just shoot the face.
Oh, absolutely. Like whenever I get
what if
late, I never don't feel like doing anything. Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say in your Femborn mod, you should change all of the gunner hit zones to like just some arbitrary like taint of the monster or something like that.
So some of them are different like that. Like I forget what monsters changed to have like their hind legs be like the weak spot, or like some monsters.
Oh, seriously? I was making a meme.
No, they do. Awesome. So we do have some things that are changed up. So people don't know Femborn, which is basically the experimental side of the community edition Iceborne mod for World, which should be getting an update this month. I've been talking to Aster. We've been trying to work on it for a good while, but we basically gutted and changed everything with the bow guns, and not so much the bow, but the bow guns. And along with the hit zone value changes, so you don't always shoot the monster's face, we gutted the bow guns. Even in my version where we changed all the emmos, like we condensed all the emmos, instead of having 3 rings, you only have 2 because nobody used level 1 emmos anyway. And we have new emmos that do a whole bunch of different stuff, but I gutted the damage on like everything now. And then also we got rid of spare shot because spare shot was just too dumb. I hated it. So.
Spare shot is idiotic.
Yeah. So like,
is there
works.
An equivalent to spare shot though? Like something like, you get like an extra ammo slot or something like that, or?
Well, so spare shot's still in the game, but the way it works is the way it worked in Gen and GU as ammo saver, so that the extra round goes into your reserves, not your clip. So you still expend the shot, you just get more ammo. So it's not a DPS increase at all.
Okay.
So that cut bowgun damage down by a lot.
Yeah, I bet.
Damn. So is this the kind of like, is what you're doing? You call it Femborn? Are you trying to like balance the bowguns out a little more? Is that what you're working on, or is it just like?
Yeah, it makes it more like interesting and fun, because if you played like Iceborne, literally all it is spread on small monsters and pierce on big monsters. That's all you ever use. Like, yeah, some elemental light bowgun stuff had some niche matchups, but a lot of the MOs went to waste, and so we wanted to balance all the MOs to be different. So like stickies aren't just fire and forget MO anymore. They actually take hit zone values into account, and they use blunt hit zones now. We changed them to impact MO instead of sticky
I
MO.
like that.
So you have to actually hit a monster's face with them and keep up on them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Slicing MO is a thing now. Like we have 2 levels of slicing MO, and it does damage. So you can use slicing MO to do cuts, and they use cut hit zones. We have all the different normal, spread, and pierce that have much different like ranges of when they're effective and what monsters are good against. And like we changed like the tick rate of pierce, so it's good against like a small section of weak spot rather than it shoots through the entire monster. All the elemental MOs are different now. Like they all act like dragons, so like they're the slow projectile lob. But now we have internal MOs on, or not internal elements, internal elements on bowguns, kind of like how weapons do. They just have an element attached to it. So any of your normal spread or pierce MO has an element attached to it, like any other weapon would. So now you can do like spread elemental MO or pierce elemental MO and stuff. So there's a lot more options. Like status MOs, we only have 1 rank now, and they actually do like a 20 raw motion values, so they're like as good as the normal 2. So you can actually deal damage with status MOs too. We have all sorts of different stuff. So we just wanted to give more options, but also at the same time, we did tone back on a lot of the damage. So they're not as strong as standard Iceborne, especially because the scope is gutted. We're not using the scope anymore.
Thank
Shield,
goodness.
heavy
Putting a
bowgun
scope
gutted.
on the spread shotgun, putting the scope on the shotgun to get a DPS bonus is the most asinine thing ever. Capcom, you are all idiots for allowing that.
I called that with as soon as they showed it off in the demo. I was like, we're all gonna put a scope on a shotgun. They're like, oh, we're putting it on our Wyvern snipe, and no one's gonna use that. I was like, I knew it was gonna go on the shotgun right away.
Oh
It's
my
stupid.
goodness.
So like, it still works.
Is that why no
but,
one
like,
uses
spread,
HPG?
Yeah. But like spread gets no damage bonus for scope. Normals only get like a 15%, and then pierce gets 20. So, but
like
that's it.
I need to look into bowguns. I haven't, like, literally the only thing I've looked into for bowguns is like just put like slap sticky on an LBG just to get rid of like Kushala or the gold and silver
It's
rats.
unfortunately very efficient.
It is.
I still to this day really like spread ammo though, because it forces you to play like up close to the monster, and that like I can appreciate like having to play putting your shotgun into the monster's face to shoot it while also still dodging around and stuff like
It's
that.
fun.
So I actually like spread a lot.
Yeah, you spread and rise too. I think most people are running like sticky slice and rise, and I'm still all about that spread ammo.
running slice. Yeah.
Spread. Oh my goodness. I definitely need to look up some of your builds to like really figure that out.
Shotguns, man. I love any game. Shotguns are my thing. So
Shotguns? Hell yeah. Go crazy. I've seen like when you were doing Dread Queen runs a lot in Rise, like it like the way you utilized the bowgun was really cool. I need to look into
hate
that.
that run.
No, you're
It'll be better on PC. It'll be better on
absolutely.
The Switch drops inputs and stuff. It's really annoying. Like,
Yeah.
I think I tried for like a week to shave 1 second off my time and just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Or
Just
and like Switch
For my-
Rise? Or are you talking about like something?
yeah, for Switch
Oh,
Rise,
yeah.
for Dread Queen.
Yeah.
It was really annoying.
I bet.
No, and the nice thing too is that when Rise comes out, dropped inputs and frame drops and stuff like that is actually a hardware problem, right? Even Switch input buffering is Switch side. It's not even game side. You know, a while ago I did some research on this, and even when you run the emulator version of the game, the emulated version of the game is the exact same game code put onto the computer, and you run the emulation of it, and there is no input buffering on the computer. It's 1-to-1.
Yeah.
That's it. And it doesn't store any inputs whatsoever. That's the Switch
Yeah, it's just
doing
direct
that because
capture.
the Switch knows that it, like, they programmed the Switch knowing that it was going to drop frames and drop inputs. So if it dropped an input when one could be received, it would store it.
That's dumb.
So
So
is that just for any
input buffering-
console? Like, is there
Well, that's for
input
the
buffering in every
Switch.
console, or is it just
I
Switch?
assume a lot of the Nintendo consoles do that because they don't necessarily perform the
3DS
best, and they
doesn't.
know they don't. Really, the 3DS doesn't. It's got no input hold.
No input buffering whatsoever because
Really?
most of the games ran at 60 FPS. They didn't need it.
That's true.
Because if a 3DS game dropped to 40, you wouldn't notice.
I heard
Like
40
except like in some
60 FPS.
in some cases, yeah.
Not quite 60. It's like 45, 50. It's
Yeah.
really fucking buttery though. It looks really good playing on like on a new 3DS. I love it.
That's crazy.
It looks so good. But
Yeah,
then like
yeah.
even games like 3U were 60 FPS. You know, and like you would get a frame drop, but you like would hardly ever notice it. The only times that I ever had problems with inputs on the 3DS games was when I was playing online. If I played online in the 3DS games, I would have lag problems, I'd have drop problems. It was that's when those
3DS
issues
cannot
existed.
handle multiple people.
No.
No. You put two people in there, it's just like
Mario Party, that's about it.
two. What do you mean I have to
Even
render
Mario
two
Party,
models?
dude, like,
Really?
we did the jump rope thing, and it fucking lags out and stuff. Like, ugh.
We did that freaking Mario Party, the jump rope
Yeah,
gun
you
comes up.
guys
I was
did
like,
Mario
it's
Party.
all over.
Oh my god. Oh man. Oh geez.
So talking about Ice though, because so Femborn is just like a part of this larger Iceborne Community Edition, right? This is just Fem's little cheesy name.
That's just the only part that I'm working on. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
so this is going to be included. Femborn is going to be included into the Ice mod. Is it?
I mean,
Yeah.
yes and no.
in ways.
So Ice has got two versions. It's got stable and experimental. Experimental originally had the stuff like Omnilance, which is now in the stable version, and it also has Femborn, which is just all the shit that I've messed with because I've touched a lot of stuff. And once we get that hammered down and okay and not broken and like iron it all out, then it'll go to stable. But stable right now, bowguns are totally different than experimental bowguns. Like I redid all the bowgun trees, all the ammo tables, all the upgrades, all of them, every single one.
Wow.
Yeah. What's involved in
they're
modding exactly? Like, is it a lot involved, or is it like? Because I imagine it's a lot of
You're asking
coding.
a big question. You're asking a big question
No,
here,
I
Skoy.
know, but like, I've never been
think
involved in it. All I
Aster
know
would
is
be-
just download and play. That's all I know.
Well, thankfully, Aster and Aster and Arati made some really amazing tools to help like just easily edit stuff with like a nice user interface. You don't have to go through like hex code or anything to mess with
Oh
stuff.
wow.
So their tools to edit like weapons and ammo properties and stuff like that, really easy to do. That's the stuff that I've been working on because it's really easy. I can go back and manually change all like the easy number stuff. It's all the things when you get like different models, different visual effects, different animations, adding stuff to like the user interface. All that stuff is like way more inside the game engine that I have no idea how the fuck they do it. I'm not a computer person as far as modding goes. I'm at the user level. I'm not like into like the dev level at all.
Yeah.
So that's I can't really say what goes into modding because even the stuff that I do is made simple by the people who actually do the modding.
Yeah, I imagine it's a lot of coding and stuff involved as well, which like I don't want to even touch that.
No.
I've always
Like,
been afraid
only,
of
like,
modding.
The only modding thing I actually did is I helped Aster load through save data for Stories 2 to get the Stories 2 save transfer between Switch and PC working, and he walked me through all the steps on like how to dive into the memory and check points and stuff. And I wish I learned anything. I really didn't, but it was really fucking cool to do.
I bet. Jeez.
I've been waiting for there to be more tools for Stories 2, so we could possibly get that randomizer that I keep talking
I
about.
want that randomizer.
You
That would
want
be
an
so
update on
fucking
Stories 2
good.
really quick?
Yeah.
So, fans who
Yes.
made. Did you try the Spire of Trials mod in Stories 2? Okay.
No.
So fans who made like the fun dungeon because there's like nothing to do in Stories.
Dungeon.
Well, it's the
Dungeon.
fungeon.
The fungeon.
He was gonna update the dungeon for like the latest stuff and like add some more things and add
Okay.
more like human monster battles because there's only like 2 of those in the entire game.
Yeah,
But then he started to dive into the code and realized the code, the AI, the stats, everything is literally like a 1-to-1 copy from Stories 2 to Stories 1. Like literally, it's like the same game. And he said that you can actually take a monster from Stories 2 and drop it into Stories 1, and it'll work. All the animations will work, all the stats and everything work. You could just do that.
Other way
And he says
around?
it's no.
Seriously?
He says it's a lot easier to mod Stories 1, and he actually wants to do more modding for Stories 1 to expand that game, because that game also has like the stuff that they took out in Stories 2, like changing a monster's element and like doing a bunch of weird stuff like inherited genes, like the itemized genes or whatever, and like all those things that they didn't actually like completely remove. It's like you could use those again, and you could just take everything from Stories 2 and put it into Stories 1 and then build on Stories 1. But I'm like, nobody wants to play Stories 1. It's going to be really hard to get people.
Play Stories 1.
No.
Like, just the visuals in Stories 2 are fucking good. Like,
They're
I love
great.
that.
I love them.
And,
too many explosions, though.
Yeah. And, like, I would love to be able to, like, get a bunch more content for Stories 2 more than Stories 1, because I don't want to go back and play on, like, Citra or something to do that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know what's going to go on.
I play on my 3DS still.
You have a capture card for it though, which I never want to dive money into because it's a third-party company too. It's not even a company. I don't even know what
it's not even that.
They don't exist anymore.
Yeah, you can't really do it. Like people just don't do them anymore.
No.
So the one company that was manufacturing the capture cards for them went out of business when COVID started.
Really?
After surviving like 7 or 8 NDAs, or not NDAs, excuse me, 7 or 8 like takedowns from Nintendo themselves, survived all of that shit. COVID hits, gone. Damn it! I was pissed because I was literally about to send them my 3DS, my new 3DS XL to get modded, but it's like $800 or something like that. Yeah,
I couldn't send mine in. I was gonna do mine because I think it used to only cost like $400 back in the day.
It depends on which mod you were doing. I was also doing the like if you just want the card, yeah, it was like $400. But I was doing the card and the controller kit mod, so I could do like run a USB controller with it too.
Okay, that's cool. I was gonna send mine in, but they don't support modding of already hacked 3DSs. And so I couldn't send mine in, and I was like, "Oh, I don't want to ruin that." So.
Yeah, I think they do that explicitly because if your 3DS bricks, they don't want you to blame them,
right?
When they already know that you have a mod on it. So like, you have to have a blank one, and you send it to them. Like, what I was gonna do is I was gonna buy a refurbished 2DS XL and have that modded, because like Nintendo sells them for like $100 every now and then.
Oh yeah, it's crazy cheap.
One of those, and then send that in, spend $400 or $500 plus shipping, because it goes to Germany, right? That's the company was out of Germany, and then get it back, and I have a carded new 2DS XL. Now, when you go and find them, they're like anywhere between $800 to $2,500, depending on what mod they have.
Just play on Citra.
Wow. or just play on Citra, right?
Yeah.
And when people ask you, you just hold up the game card and you're like, "Yeah, I have it right here. What are you talking about?"
I have it right here. They're like, "Wait a minute, it's not in the system."
But legitimately though, emulation is like the next step. I don't know, I can't remember who I was talking to about this, but like emulation is like literally the next step to preserving the classics, like even just stuff like 3DS era and before.
Yeah, like the past gen stuff is just getting gutted. Like all the stuff, they keep shutting down servers, they stop supporting the hardware.
It makes me so sad.
And it's just, it gets really, really hard to play older games. And like when Nintendo comes out and it's like, "Hey, we're gonna relaunch, all these old classics that everyone likes, so you don't have to play them on emulators," and then they turn out to be shit and they run worse than they did when they came out. It's like, how do you make a game 30 years later and it runs worse? Like, that's like, I
do want to try out the 64 stuff though, because I've seen some of the games are direct download and some of them are stream download, and I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work well.
It depends, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know. But
because I was playing Super Metroid on the Switch, and that's a direct download, like, and it runs great, runs amazing. It's so much fun. Like, I've been playing it, and I hate Metroidvanias, and so it's just like I've been trying to play it so I can say like I played Super Metroid, and the faults with the game is just me like not enjoying it, but it runs perfectly great. Like it runs great on the Switch.
Could you imagine if it didn't? It's a Super Nintendo game that the file size is like 16 megs. And some games don't. No? Some of those old games don't.
Jesus.
Excuse me. Yeah, no, it's nuts.
Oh god.
It's insane.
But
but the thing that I wanted to talk about, because we brought it up and we got derailed. I actually got to try Ice for the first time yesterday.
Yeah. You did.
Oh yeah, you started your
holy
playthrough, huh?
I did not a full playthrough, my friend. I did a sharp percent
right?
speed run. Yeah.
Full playthrough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I started and I finished it.
Yeah, it's a full play.
That's what I said. That's what I said because I was like, yeah, I've been like watching Aki like do a playthrough and stuff like that. I was like, figured like I'll just do it in one day. Shara's the end, right?
Shara's the end, well, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to
get
go
the
to
credits.
Fatty, but
Oh god.
yeah,
Nobody wants to fight Fate. Oh, actually, maybe it's
HR 100.
doesn't clagger anyway, so it's gonna be garbage.
Yeah,
Fatal. Don't get me started on
Fatty's not
Fatalis.
changed a whole lot because he doesn't really clagger.
Because he doesn't clagger. But the cool thing though about it is that was I hate doing sharp percents. Like about halfway through, I'll start malding at like the 6 hour, 7 hour mark. I'm just malding at everything like, oh fucking bullshit clagger, and oh the monster staggered out of the trap, and like I lose my mind
because it's
doing
stupid
these
bullshit.
things because it's so obnoxious. That was the most fun I've had doing a sharp percent ever.
Is there a difference?
Ever. I did Switch X. Was it
Okay.
I was gonna say, like, are the monsters in Iceborne like less scripted than they are in like base world? I think I've asked you this on your stream before.
The biggest changes to take into consideration is that they removed claggers and they changed the hit zone values and how tenderizing works. Right? So like those are the two biggest changes to like the game, and then they changed some weapons around to like entirely eliminate spam ZSD, which makes Switch Axe fun because it's
pretty cool and nice.
Oh yeah, I was
really
practically I was literally just using sword mode to build up amp and then switching back to axe mode, and so it's like this is
because you
fun.
do vials and axe now.
Yeah, it was sick.
You were just swinging your axe around a Teostra when I copped it, and you were just like,
and I got a pseudo lock on Kushala with that, and I was like, holy shit, I can pseudo lock no add-ons Kushala Dorada with this axe. Let's freaking go. And the insane thing is that once you remove claggers and the necessity to tenderize, the game is playable and it's fun.
It feels so much
and it's
better.
enjoyable. It feels, and like it literally feels like, and the clutch claw, it's still the clutch claw, but not being forced to use it.
Yeah,
makes the game so much more
enjoyable. You can rotate monsters, you can force enrage them, you can throw them into walls still. You can even still tenderizer, but tenderizing only is like a +5 hit zone when you put it on now.
+5 hit
so it's
zone,
like
yep.
It's good if you're using a weapon like sword and shield that can just auto get it off anyway. Great, you can go ahead and use it, but you don't have to anymore. And like everything about the claw, it's an option if the opportunity presents itself. Great, but you don't have to use it anymore.
That's really fucking nice.
It made the flow of the game feel like so much more natural, so much more enjoyable, because I was less worried about like maintaining these ongoing statuses in order to continue fighting the monster in any way possible. I don't know if they changed any other monster behavior, because like I noticed Ruiner was just a good monster. Like Ruiner was a good fight. I was like, holy shit. And like Ruiner went amazing, by the way. Like I got hit twice maybe that entire fight, and it was so good. Like after every fight I was happy.
So one of the things we did want to do in Ice that unfortunately I couldn't get the people together is I did want to change all the AI for monsters and give them just slightly different movesets and change their pattern a little bit so they feel different. I was gonna have Fandra something with that because he's really good with modding monster AI and changing stuff around, but there is some conflict of interest and some drama within the Monster Hunter modding community, and so I could not get him to help me with that, unfortunately. But that would be one of the things that takes Ice to the next level, is actually changing the monsters up and being different.
I think rather than changing what's existing, make it like another tempered form, like just like because tempered is that idea is that they're supposed to have like different AI, different health, different attacks, stuff like that. So a new tempered form, so like the original is still preserved within,
because every monster has an arc tempered form that's just not in use.
But then there's that arc tempered mod that already exists, which is incredibly lazy, where they just took every single monster, added 10 times the health and damage.
Yeah, and I don't like
arc tempers.
It doesn't help. Like I like the arc tempers from like base game and stuff because they added like 2 new moves to each of the monsters. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly.
They're faster, stronger, and it feels like it's a G rank monster, like in high rank. But yeah, that'd be great. I would love to do something like that, where we have arc tempered all the monsters, and then they have slightly different AI and some new moves. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Do you think they could have made arc tempered monsters for the rest of the elders in Iceborne? Because it's just like it
It's
felt like
literally
they kind of
just a
gave up.
checkbox. Like all you have to do is click the checkbox. You could go into the game and like make arc tempered all the elders and stuff. No problem.
Oh, nice. Well, I was just meaning like in the normal, just like base Iceborne kind of thing, because we got like
Yeah,
what
they
was
could
it?
have if they wanted to. It literally like it's a checkbox, and they could have had it, and they have their moves from like arc tempered in the base game.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest reason why they didn't do it, though, right? Like we only got like we got AT Namiel, AT Velkana. Did we get AT Black Veil? I don't think we did.
No,
That
was it, right? It was just
That was it.
Yeah, and I
two.
get that because they're unique elder dragons that were unique to Iceborne. So like, because like imagine if they introduced like an AT Teostra, which
like
we already
Iceborne?
we don't already go back to it, but yeah, like imagine if they like released like master rank AT Teostra, it probably would have been perfectly. Actually, now that I think about it, it would have been master rank, so people would have actually fought it and enjoyed it. But the only problem is that what's the word? It just left my brain. It's gone.
Okay.
His brain just
gone.
flatlined
Stop
mid-sentence.
mid-sentence. That brain's
It's like,
off.
so anyway, no.
Not trivializes, like overwrites. There's another word for that. Like it overwrites it. It like replaces it. If you made master rank ATs of things that already existed in HR, you wouldn't go back.
Redundant?
You wouldn't have a reasoned redundance. Close to the word that I was thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, that's the close one. Yeah, no. So yeah, point to Skoj. For those of you keeping track of points at home,
I'm in lead.
Skoj's winning.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It would have. I think that's why they didn't. But Iceborne had an amazing lifespan, and it still does, right? Like
It's
modding
still
community is
going.
helping push it. Yeah, modding community is pushing it even further and further. I was saying that yesterday. It's like, because like someone said like, oh, everyone's switching over to the ice mod. I was like, yeah, it's because we played the regular game for 4 years already. We want something different,
exactly.
and we don't want to play Rise.
The
That's
game's
part
been
about
out for
mods,
4
is it-
years.
Yeah, it breathes new life into games, especially because Capcom's not going to touch World anymore, like at all.
Yeah, they're done.
So it's like, why not? Why not? Like,
Especially since
Literally,
the
the last update they took out de novo. They took out the anti cheat.
I know
They knew. They're like, all right, have fun.
They just perform like shit. Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, they're also like getting rid of the collaboration quest, so they're finally getting rid of the Monster Hunter movie quest. They're getting rid of I think all the
they
Assassin's Creed ones. Yeah. So they're getting
The
rid of those
Assassin's Creed
quests.
ones,
'Cause I think
and- yeah.
they're probably
The
under contract.
Will they get rid of Behemoth and Leshen?
No, those are
No.
those are still there. But
Those are
it
staying.
was probably just a contract that they can only have it for a certain amount of time, and it's probably like till now. Or
Probably they're
Can
something
we
like
get the
the
fucking
trademark that they
Horizon
purchased.
DLC on PC? That'd be cool. I
Right?
need that bowgun. That bowgun's so good.
Oh my gosh.
The bowgun is great. Just mod the bowgun in.
Yeah,
I'm
It's not paid
really excited
content.
for Rise.
It doesn't
That's the
hurt the
problem,
modders.
is we really couldn't have, unfortunately. But
Can
because
you
it's got a unique fire like special ammo. And that's literally
and it's not programmed in the game.
It's not programmed on the PC version, unfortunately. It's not in at all.
Dang.
Trust me, we would have already had it.
I
We've
know.
had it in all different elements.
It's
not
just like
Thunder.
this was something that came up too like a while ago, and like this is the ethics of modding, because there are I'm just wiggling my mouse in Final Fantasy so I don't get logged out. There are ethics in modding. All right, we're good. There are ethics in modding. So like back when DLC and stuff like that in Monster Hunter was coming out, and we got like the Defender gear, we had to make the two categories, add-ons and no add-ons. And what we shoved into add-ons was like the Defender gear, right? But then also the paid the pre-order stuff, Origin Armor and Fairwind Charm. We just shoved that in there too. And then someone said like, well, can't you guys just mod in Fairwind Charm? And they flat out like Aster flat out said in there like, absolutely not. That's like paid content. Like someone paid to have that. We are not modding in paid content. That is
Right.
like modders are not pirates. Like we aren't thieves. And so like that's something that I've always like appreciated, especially in this modding community, because like people go out of their way to make sure that things aren't being trivialized. No, that's not the word.
No,
That wasn't it.
I was like, wait, earlier too.
I know, because it sounds like the word that I want, but I cannot remember. If you know what word I'm trying to think of, put it in the comments below.
So fucking funny. No,
Dude, it's not that one. but like, you know, it trivializes, it overwrites it. The word that I can't think of, the people that actually like paid for that content. So make unique stuff if you want it for free, pirates.
Yeah. I mean, it's not hard to make a charm that has like +1 attack on it.
No.
Yeah.
You can't
really
have the
want it?
Fairwind charm.
Can't have the fair one because it has attack and divine blessing. You can have one or the other,
Yeah.
or neither.
Jeez. There's probably gonna be like a shit ton of mods when Rise comes in. Like it's probably gonna be like a crazy.
There's
amount of mods.
already mods
modded.
on the demo
Really?
version. There's a ton of mods, and that's
Is
what
there-
I don't like. Okay, again, no shade to Peppo, but he's playing with mods on the demo version where, like, you know, they have lowest HP set spawn locations, and there's also mods to grant armor skills that you can't see on the equipment. So God knows what there's going on over there. But it's like there's no point in playing running in the demo when there's already like crazy shit out like that. It's like.
I mean, like there is and there isn't. You know, like it depends on like what your goal is, right? It's like the same people that tell me like they don't want to do speedrunning because they're never going to get a world record, and I'm like, I mean, I started doing speedruns without the intent to ever get a world record, and like it just depends on your intent. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
so the same difference between like TA and freestyle, right? It's like you do TA rule because you want TA leaderboard.
But you're doing runs with private mods that aren't available to the public.
But you're saying he's doing the mods. He's doing it with the mods.
Yeah, but a lot of people are too, which is like
himself.
Yeah,
I know, but it's just like I don't know.
Because like the other hand to that,
that's why I stopped running in Iceborne because of that shit.
Yeah, a lot of people do. But I mean, like that's like the intent too. It's like it's not like Peppo's going out here and like submitting that to leaderboards, right? Like he's just doing it for himself, and like it's more of like a proof of concept. You know, like hey, like this is what Rise speedruns could look like because I gave myself like the Rise set and the monster HP is adjusted to like the appropriate thing and like it's set spawn stuff like that. Like this is what it could look like. I mean, that's at least. For anything that is content, right? That's
no, and that's totally fine. But it's just like it's the stuff like this that makes it so that when people do any runs on PC, they're like, "Oh, you've got a bajillion mods in the background that are doing God knows what." And
will that be in like its own category then, right? Because that wouldn't like fall under.
Nobody cares. Yeah. Well, so like, and this is why. So I can't speak for any other leaderboard. I tried to, by the way. I tried to do this. I had so many people reach out to me in Rise asking me, hey, are we going to have a billion fucking leaderboards for Rise? And I said, I will do my best to make sure there's one. Guess what? There's a billion leaderboards for Rise already because all of these people just wanted to do their own thing. And I even gave them permission. I even said, like, man, you could just run it on the SRC website. Like, I'll do hands off. You do whatever you want with it. They're like, I just don't like SRC. I'm like, sure, whatever. Anyways, we go out of our way and handpick the mods that we allow people to use, and we have ways to check for that and stuff like that. You know, we don't publicize that. Like one of the things, yeah, well, not like not speedrun.com, but I run the Monster Hunter community leaderboards, like all of them.
I think you like mentioned that. I thought you were like memeing, but I didn't know you actually like manage that.
No, I run that shit. Yeah, okay. My leaderboard. All you cheaters out there.
All you.
But it's like we go out of our way to, because I had to make a statement about this because when PC Iceborne came out, the previous admin for SRC wanted to completely eliminate the leaderboard just because people were modding IL runs. They're like, well, now it's too much effort. People are modding IL runs. Nobody cares about IL runs on PC. Nobody cares about runs on PC anyways. Like, it's just too modded and everyone thinks everyone's a cheater. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to get rid of that. And it's also to get rid of RTA leaderboards for PC. And then I'm going to be pissed because then I don't have anywhere to like submit to. I don't have a PS4. I don't, or excuse me, I'm not going to use my PS4. I'm not going to put myself through that. And
those load times.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. No, thank you. I literally was like the advocate for like, hey, don't kill the PC leaderboards because you want to be like lazy, or you think that everyone's gonna think everyone's like a cheater, or and you don't want to provide any sort of like verification process to this, right? So like it is a trust system. Like everyone in the community understands that like a mod can get past us, a cheated run can get past us. It's possible. We are only human. Like that's gonna happen. It happens all the time. A modded run,
and
gets
not
past
just Monster
us.
Hunter, a bajillion games.
Yeah.
A bajillion game. I literally reached out to like SRC admins, Dark Souls, even Horizon Zero Dawn, Halo, all of those games where I'm like, these are popular games that are on PC that are being modded. Like I literally went on Nexus Mods and like started checking like popular mods. I'm like, okay, these are popular modding communities. What do these speedrun communities look like? Okay, here are the speedrun communities. These are their rules on mods. This is how they do the verification. I was reaching out to people left and right, and they literally, every single one of them said, you will not be able to stop every mod, and you need a community that is supporting that idea, not one that's like using that idea to like tear down the leaderboard. Because every person just comes up and goes like, well, it's a modded run. I'm like, prove it. We already proved that it wasn't. Right, and we put our name on it when we verify it, saying that like, yes, that is a valid run. Sometimes we get it wrong, and then we reevaluate it and we look at it again. Sometimes we get it right though, and people still just point the finger. But it really just comes down to the community like accepting that these are modding tools that we can use, because like all the stuff that we use, it's like it is lowest HP, set spawn locations. Like for a while it was no drunk bird until they fixed the drunk bird thing, and then
wait, they fixed drunk bird?
In the sense that like in base game drunk birds, there was a mod that fixed drunk birds, you getting dropped randomly in the world.
Oh yeah, okay.
There was on at camp all the time.
Well, so there used to be a mod before people knew this a little bit better that would just always spawn you at camp or always drunk bird you. You could have it on or off. It was one or the other until people, and it became more popular knowledge that you can just go on an expedition and start from there, and then you don't get drunk birded at all. So we just started doing that instead. We took that out. But a while, like for a while, that was like one of the mods that was like, hey, like, you can use this. And they're like, oh, no, like just go into an expedition. We're like, oh shit, never mind. You don't use that. There's copium in the game, yeah, okay. If you go into an expedition and if you launch a quest in the expedition from the camp that you want to be at for the quest, you don't get drunk birded ever.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that, because I remember always having to fly back to the camp on their Diablos. Yeah. Yep. Fun times. But they changed it in Iceborne, right? So it's, instead of it being randomly on the map somewhere, it's just next to the monster. So like for TA runs, they're like, you can't spawn at the, you can't get drunk birded. Okay, so we have to do expedition starts. But like in freestyle, drunk bird's the strat, dude. You reset for drunk birds. So there's a mod for that. Right.
Interesting. Okay.
And all that stuff I'm okay with a total 100%, because it's the stuff that doesn't really matter. Tedium. It's just it removes tedium. I don't really want to even get into it. It's all the stuff that you can throw on under the table that you can't really see, that gets just dumb. One of the really popular ones though that we had to I had to build some sort of verification for, which I'm not going to talk about that, but the choral orchestra horn has an attack buff on it, and there is a mod that when you call for the cat, it will always use that. And there was a lot of discourse like, well, it's RNG, like which song the cat uses, but it's manipulating NPC AI, and that was the problem. Yeah, and then there's a lot of AI manipulation. Yeah, and then there's a lot of and so we had to make this rule that if it's affecting RNG outside of a quest, that would be determined like either outside of a quest, so like your food skills, or as the quest starts. So like the moment you're dropping in, monster location, monster health, stuff like that, like all that stuff is set like as the quest loads. Not during hunt RNG stuff like monster AI, cat AI, and then obviously equipment mods, like you can't mod your equipment at all. It has to be, the right stuff.
Vanilla.
And with those I mean, like one-shot mods. That's an equipment.
well,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I've experienced that. That was annoying.
Well, I was just curious what you were like
equipment mod.
referring to. I was like, what equipment mods? Would you like transmogs?
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, like transmogs we allow, right? Like that's no problem. Like anything that's cosmetic, like we even allow people to run in shaders. Or the only thing that we haven't had to make a rule on it yet, but the only thing that I know that I would add if it ever came up is monster cosmetics, like the Vegeta mod, right?
Or like changing Vitalis' head
Vegeta
to wiggle their
mod.
head.
Yeah, or
Vitalis
Wiggler,
Wiggler.
right? Yeah.
Oh,
So
funny.
like those mods, because it makes it harder for us to verify that you're doing, like, things are happening, things are operating in correct ways. Because the other thing too is that we've seen yeah, we've seen some really unintended interactions between mods before, like just some wild shit. You know, people have like come to me and like, hey, like I don't run a one-shot mod, but like this happened, and they're just like running a bunch of like these cosmetic mods and like some other like AI manipulation mods, and they one-shot a monster. It's like, how did that happen? You know, turns out they just had something else installed, but it's just like, it's just these moments where like we can't verify what's happening because there's so much shit, you know, going on the screen. Modding is fun though.
Yeah. It's
to make sure
it's really fun. It just gets a really bad rap.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I got my we finally got bikinis for males for Monster Hunter World, so that's great.
Nice.
So
it's a good mod.
Oh, it's a great mod, perfect mod. But it's just so funny that the things you can do to change like the experience of the game as well, which is really fun.
Oh yeah.
Like change the way the weapon
stories
looks.
mod that Fanderous works on for World is gotten crazy. If you guys haven't seen that either.
Stories mod? Wait, what was it?
Monster Hunter Stories mod for Iceborne, where you have a pet companion.
Oh yeah, I've seen that. You can literally fly Rathalos all over the map.
Have you seen it lately though? He has gotten so crazy with it. So monsters now gain level ups and stats and sizes as you get HR points, so they will scale with you. You can command monsters with some of the gestures and stuff to attack, come back, like use special attacks or whatever. You can like do commands with them. You can also free fly around with monsters. They're not like set paths. You can actually move your monster around as much as you want wherever. Obviously, you can clip in the things that you're not supposed to go into. But it's free moving.
Mods.
I don't think fans updated on the Nexus yet. Yeah, but like, there is one up there, but it's like his actual one that he's been working on is not quite there. It's not quite updated.
I thought it was just that, but I didn't think he would go like in depth with it. So he basically made his own game in the game.
Crazy. Like he could do some crazy stuff. I'm trying to figure out if he can get like a way so you can like swap between monsters, because right now it's like it's an outside executable that you have to run to select your monster. Other than that though, it's pretty flipping crazy. I love it. So if you guys haven't tried that, you should try playing with that too, because it's nice.
It sounds really nice.
The first mod that I ever installed into Monster Hunter World was the cutscene skip mod, and that's like the straw that broke the camel's back. Because like now I'm like looking at like all these other mods, like Grimcat's one of my favorite Switch Axe designs ever made, and I found a mod for that, right? And so it's like, okay, I want to use Grimcat now. And then you know, obviously like trying Ice, and now like Ice has like been like just mind-opening experience for me. Just like, you know, galaxy brain meme happening behind me. It just the ability that people have to create entirely new experiences through the modding is absolutely insane to me. And so now I'm like, okay, what are all the mods that I can just absorb into me now?
That's crazy. It
gets out of hand too. You got to keep track of them, because once something doesn't work, you're like, okay, how do I go and find those specific files and get rid of those?
Yeah,
that's like every now and then I have to purge my mod folder. Like I'm just like, all right, I gotta start fresh because I don't know, something's wrong and I don't know what.
I deleted my Crimson Fatalis mod, and some of the armor for Crimson Fatalis is still there. So I had to like figure out like where to look for him. Like, why is it still here? Because I hover over the Shara, because it like I think the armor set like goes over the Shara armor, and it just like glitches between the two. It's like, we're Shara, no, Crimson Fatty, and I'm just like,
I mean, dude, shit like that happens. But it's like every time I would have like custom armors, even in older games, like in Gen and GU and stuff, where if like you transfer between like double cross and GU, so you have like some of the double cross collab stuff, and like every now and then you'll just be scrolling through all your equipment, and then you'll hit one that's not actually an equipment anymore, and it just crashes your game. I'm like, shit. Then you got to figure out a way to isolate that box in that one spot so you never touch it again. And it's happened in the world a couple times too.
Oh, God.
And like I had a weird bug, which was actually why I stopped playing Iceborne. Was when Arc Tempered Volcana came out. Deva and I and a couple other people were doing Arc Tempered Volcana runs, and I forget what we were doing, but we're trying to get like a specific spawn point for Volcana before there was like a public mod for it. And whatever we did, I couldn't fight Arc Tempered Volcana anymore. Just could not. If I would ever accept the quest that has it in it, it would just say preparing. It would never load. Normal Volcana, just fine. I could never prepare Arc Tempered Volcana. And then like I would delete all my mods, totally dump it, reinstall the game, still could not fight Arc Tempered Volcana. To this day, I still can't fight Arc Tempered Volcana.
Gotta get someone to look into your folder.
Have you tried turning your computer on and off again?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Have you tried washing the motherboard?
Washing the motherboard?
Not on this computer.
Just pressure wash it.
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, I don't have World on my new computer. I actually should reinstall it and see if I can fight Arc Tempered Volcana.
Yeah, do it. There you go.
World streams? He's coming back?
I will stream World once we get Femborn updated for Ice, because I need to do a lot of testing with that and see how progression works and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I will be doing a lot of that sometime this month when that's out.
I will say this: every single stream that I have seen of the Ice community mod, the modders are in there every single time. They're so excited that like people are playing this and
watch
like
their
trying
baby.
this. Yeah,
People
so like I had Moon Bunny and Asterisk.
You're streaming it. I think Omni is streaming it as well. Fem, you're streaming. No, you're not.
Not right now. I will once I get Femborn up. But yeah,
Bot has been streaming it.
Bot has been streaming it as well.
And but like I just thought it was so cool that like for a 12-hour stream yesterday, for a 10-hour long speed run, Asterisk and Moon Bunny were there the entire time to watch and like listen to my feedback and like actually valued it and like see when things, you know, didn't work. It's actually really funny because it utilizes the same cutscene skip mod that we use for speedrunning. And so like for speedrunning, we have an isolated it's just the cutscene skip mod, but that's just been put into, you know, the Ice mod in its entirety.
Do you have the option to skip, or does it just automatically skip?
No, it's the option to skip. Yeah, you have to do it you have to press start twice to skip, or a button and then start to skip.
There you go.
But it was really funny because the first time I did a Shara percent with the cutscene skip mod, I couldn't skip the Shara cutscene, which is like 4 minutes long or something like that, or 3 minutes long. And Moon saw that and was like, "Oh, I need to fix that. Did we do that on purpose?" I said, "I don't think we did." He's like, "Okay, I'll fix it." And then last night, sure enough, this was like months ago. Last night, sure enough, it wasn't updated in Ice. I was like, "Moon, I can't skip it."
Oh my god!
What was even funnier is that I picked the one bugged weapon in stable. I picked Switch Axe, which doesn't drop pods on tenderizing. Every weapon now drops a pod when you tenderize, except Switch Axe because it's broken. And so Moon was like, "You know what? I'm fixing it right now." And goes into it and fixes it, and then just, you know, pushes the update.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's really valuable to get those streams, because a lot of people will, you know, download the mod and play the mod and then not say anything, don't do anything, and just kind of like, that's it. So we do get a lot of feedback on the Ice Discord. We have a dedicated Ice Discord now, and that's cool. But seeing the stuff live is very helpful, because then you don't have to infer what people are typing.
It's like, so what is the problem exactly? So this happens. Like, I have no idea what you're talking.
Yeah, actually learned something you go back and recreate it, and you're like, I didn't happen to me.
Yeah. We actually learned something new last night, because I thought it was a problem with Ice. I got pissed. I was mad about this. Oh, I was so angry. I was blaming Aster for it. I put down a shock trap, attacked Rathalos, it cut the tail and ate the entire shock trap.
Yeah, that's normal. You didn't know that?
I had no idea tail cuts held priority over shock traps.
I did not know that either.
That shouldn't have happened.
It'll
and then
break
sure enough, And sure enough, Aster and Green went in and tested it, and they're like, "Oh, that 100% happens in vanilla." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, you know that? Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
4,000 hours in the game. That's literally never happened. 2,000 hours speedrunning this game. That's literally never happened."
That's crazy.
Have you kicked a monster out of a pitfall?
What?
I also found out that was possible yesterday, but I didn't do it. You know, someone was just like, "Yeah, you can also knock him out of the pitfall." It's
Yep.
Like, oh.
Even
Oh.
vine traps and everything, or is there anything about vine
No, the
traps?
environmental. Yes, the vine
Environment, I think,
trap,
has
yeah.
priority.
Oh, okay.
No,
You talked about
I
vines?
think I'm trying to remember if Aster tested it against the environmental stuff, but he said I want to say that he said that it doesn't have priority over tail cut. But
Okay.
I could be wrong. He was asking about a couple different environmental things, and I was focusing on the run, so like I could be wrong. Because I was like, oh yeah, like test it on waterfall. He's like, oh, waterfall's an entirely different species, you know, so it's not real environmental. I was like, what about boulder drop? He's like, also kind of fake.
Boulder drops are so jank. Boulder drops are jank in base game, like without
Yeah.
mods.
Oh my god.
Like you drop a boulder at a monster and it staggers instead of falling over. Like, thanks.
That's a part break flinch,
Yeah.
because like you get the part break flinch instead because it deals damage and it dealt damage to that part, and so you get this like dumb stagger instead. Happened to me today in the speed run this morning for charity,
Broke a wing.
and I dropped the giant crystal on Nergi and it broke one of the spikes in the wings and only staggered. Then he immediately turned around and just crushed me, and I was like,
Yeah.
this game sucks.
So what's up, bitch? And it comes after you. Oh
It's
my
always
God.
when I'm talking shit about Nergi too, he just immediately turns around and just crushes my
He's
hunter.
like, oh,
Shit
he's not
get
that
hit.
bad. Just
I literally said, it's like, why is Nergi the worst? I got hit by something dumb, like a really jank tail hitbox. I was like, why is Nergi the worst? And he quick turns and just crushes me. I was like, I can't even be mad.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So the game works, man.
Yeah,
Game
but
works.
like you pointed something out with speedrunning that I didn't even realize, and that's why the main cause is because of time, but like when you restart the hunt, it's an entirely different script. That's what I think is what you explained. Because it's just like the first hunt you do is like part of the story, and it's like that's how like it's where it's
Correct.
supposed to be and everything.
Yeah.
When you do the
yeah,
hunt
so,
again,
so there's
then it's
two
different.
versions of the assigned missions, because you have the assigned mission that has the cutscene in it. You have the assigned mission that has the cutscene in it. After you watch that cutscene, RNG takes the wheel, right? But before you watch that cutscene, the game's like, okay, for the monster to fit inside this cutscene, the way that we filmed it, it has to be this big, has to be this size. We're gonna give it this health, because I don't know this in world, but is health linked to size?
No, it's not.
Okay, so
No.
they have, but they made it so they have static health.
Because they gave you a static monster.
Mm.
Yeah, they
Right.
don't roll it.
Yeah, exactly. They give you we get one version of that like Topikadachi or that Diablos, right? It's always that stuff. It's kind of cool because like there's some variants. It's not like they're all like, you know, size 3. Like a monster can be like what, 1 through 5. Like the size numbers. It's like
I
1
don't
through
know
5.
too much about the sizes.
I don't know.
Because I remember looking at there's like this Bible for Monster Hunter World that has all of the quest info for every quest in the game, and it tells you like the HP of the monster, the HP
Oh yeah, I
range,
remember that.
if it can be like the size of it, so you know if it's a crown or not, and stuff like that. But if you look at the assigned ones, there's no variance, there's no range whatsoever. It's really cool. But yeah, but after, like, let's say you go in, you're like, I watched the Tobikadachi cutscene, I leave, and then you come back, his
It's
spawn
entirely
location,
different.
his size, his health pool, all change.
That's
Gotta
crazy.
be consistent,
So is
man.
their
Don't
health
fuck up.
is their health pool lower in the like when you first like ever encounter them, or is it higher, lower?
No, because
It
you can get a
depends.
low roll.
Yeah,
I
it
think
depends.
it's an average roll.
The assigned missions are like middle of the line across the board, except for like 2 hunts, which I think they roll a little bit lower than average, but they're more or less like, you know, middle, like medium, like just like the average health that it can have. So if you re-roll the quest, it could be more, it could be less. But because of that inconsistency, that would ruin a lot of like what we try to do, which is making the game perfectly consistent.
Okay. Well, is it like do they have the same AI each time for monsters like, let's say, like Kolv,
Yes.
Latrion, Vitalis? Really?
The AI?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, it's like they're not going to do the same shit every time.
No. But as far as like the AI is the same type of like random,
Oh,
right?
okay.
It's not like
it
it's not
doesn't
like the
change.
assigned mission has like AI type 1, and then like the other ones can be like AIs type 1 through 5.
The
It's
only
just
things
it's
that
always
change
random.
the AI is the quest type, like low rank, high rank, master rank kind of thing.
Yeah. Because that changes like what moves they can do and stuff like that. But like when I say like no, it doesn't affect. When I say like I'm saying no, it doesn't affect the AI. The AI is the same all the time. The only thing that changes is like its starting location and like how it gets there, and that's it. Yeah, like some monsters like do an attack to get to their starting location. Like Tobikadachi jumps out of a tree. That's always scripted, right?
Yeah.
But like that's it. That's the only part that's like actually scripted with the fight. And he's just jumping out of a tree the same way every single time.
Okay. Huh.
Speedrunning.
But then it's terrible the entire time, where it just backflips you like 6 times in a row and you get hit by every single one of them. Then you're stunned, and then your cat knocks you off the top, and then you cry.
You haven't experienced that at all.
No. Yeah, you like absolutely hate Fatalis speedruns. Like you've done it, like you attempted it like a few times, and you're just like you're absolutely livid.
Because I
whenever you
was
do it.
doing RTA setting style. I was trying to figure out a way that in RTA I could kill Fatalis, and Fatalis is just not designed for solo player and not designed for like super early master rank copium, right? Like you have to do nothing to unlock Fatalis. You have to like sight a Rajang, don't even have to fight it. You have to sight Elatrian, you don't even know, or you fight baby Elatrian. You sight the original one, then you fight baby
2000
one,
HP.
like that. Yeah. The one that has less health than Master Rank Great
That
Jogress.
was funny. I found that hilarious because to me that was like a nod off to like the people that couldn't beat it before, and they were just, all right, we'll give you like a
here's your baby quest.
yeah, here's your baby.
There is no
There's
way
no reason
they
that
didn't do that.
we would have to go back and fight it. Like for story wise, no reason to go and fight Electron. They're just
They
like
100%
here's
did
the
that.
quest. That's a baby version. Now you can fight your Fatalis, which is the real monster.
Yeah. It was really funny when I first encountered that. I was just like, this is literally a nod.
The only monster following Shara that you have to fight to get to Fatalis is Stygian Zinogre and a Kieran. And it's a weakened Master Rank Kieran. That's it. That's all you have to fight. And then everything else you just spot and then you leave. Rajang, spot, leave. Elatrian, you have to fight. So I guess that counts too. But it's like it's baby Elatrian. It's Reddit Elatrian, you know? And then Fatalis.
And
it's
then
like I'm sitting here trying to
no gear.
Well, so like this was the thing, is like I scripted it out. You can get all of the equipment you need. Like you can get all the materials you need from one Stygian Zinogre. But I found the Stygian fight to be consistent and easy enough with like a average, Shara percent gear, that I could farm it. And I was like, okay, I can farm this now. So as long as I get the drops that I need the first time, I started going in and wall banging it. I would go in, wall bang it twice, grab things, leave. I was doing the Gaijin Hunter Fatalis, build all the Fatalis armor before you actually kill Fatalis strat.
Oh my god!
So I was going in, wall banging it. Like I could get all the materials off of the first hunt, or this. But the cool thing is that the way that I did it was I was made sure I captured it, so I got the special arena, so I could keep resetting the special arena. As long as you don't complete the special arena, it stays in rotation, right? So you just go in, wall bang it twice, and then leave. Go in, wall bang it twice, and then leave. Like I just kept doing that over and over again until I got all the materials that I needed. But then like after that, I built this like weird Legiana, and it was straight cope. It was just straight cope. It was like Divine Blessing 3, Health Boost 3. It was I think I had like Fire Resist on it just because I could meld for it.
Yeah.
And then like 2 levels of Agitator, like a level of weakness. I'm using the Stygian Zinogre Longsword. And if you know anything about me, it's that I suck with Longsword. And I figured that out of all of the weapons, Longsword would be the easiest one to do that with. And I died so many times. I think I got 1 run to stage 3, and then I died. And I was like, fuck this.
How much time did you waste doing that?
4 days.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Standard speed run time.
I spent 4 days trying to learn how to do this. I remember I did a Shara percent run, and then for a week I scripted from Shara to Fatalis a build, and then for another week I tried to learn Fatalis because I was like, when I make partner on Twitch, I'll do a Fatalis percent. Haha, yeah, it'll never happen. And then it happened. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll try this. And that was like literally the worst mentally I ever was, because I saw zero progress with myself. Nothing felt good. Like I couldn't, in 4 days I couldn't get it clear. I was so mad with myself.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I was just stressing myself out about it too.
Speedrunning and doing shit like that really destroys your mental well-being.
it really
Like,
does. And then you
absolutely.
also had people coming in that were just like, hey, why don't you try this? Like, never like tell a speedrunner
Yeah, giving you
what to do.
advice like you don't know how to play. Like it's just like it's stupid shit like that. Or people like saying, "Oh well, I beat him in like 12 minutes." I'm like, "Yeah, you have all this fucking gear and all this other shit." And like,
Good job.
random nonsense like that. People just always want to say something. I'm like, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Shut the fuck up."
I try not. Hold on, I gotta wiggle. I try not.
It sounds like you need to use the restroom. I gotta wiggle.
Fantasy, man.
I'll be right back.
It took 2 hours to log in today. I can't get logged out again.
Oh my gosh, it took 2 hours. I was streaming. I literally popped into your stream while I was streaming. I was just like, help me.
Your
It took
queue
me
was
two
like
and a half
$2,000.
hours. I was in the queue.
Yeah.
There was like a 4.5k queue. And then like I crashed out of it like 3 or 4 times. I got back into it. But then the last time I got out of it and I got back into another 4.5 queue. It was great.
I think it's
Happy
funny
end
that,
walker.
you know, we've been having MMOs and just online games for the past 30 years, and every launch is always the same.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Nothing's
mean,
changed.
Because like, why would they?
No.
This is an entirely different topic. Why would they? I
Okay,
actually I
we
wanna go back.
transition. Do we want to transition or do you want to go back?
I want to
Or
make
do you
sure
want
I
to
say
finish?
this.
Okay, go for
I
it.
want to make sure I say this. I am perfectly okay with people giving me insight and advice, like their insights into what's happening. But if you go out of your way to tell me to go farm Raging Bracky to have an easier time against Fatalis, kindly shut the fuck up. I'm not gonna go and farm
You don't want those
a
blast
monster
weapons?
that's not even required to fucking fight this thing fast as possible. Fast, speedy.
Like the
And, like, my
entire
first
thing,
fight-
not just Fatalis. It's just the entire thing.
And then you get the kill
My
after
first-
16 weeks. I'm so fast.
Yeah, right. Like, could you imagine? Like, I go through, I farm all that stuff. It's been like 4 days. Like, oh, speed run. They're like, that wasn't a speed run. That was a casual play. Faster than you. So that's why I think like doing sharp percents in one sitting is so cool, because it's like, oh, you just beat like what took me like 2 weeks to do in one
day.
sitting
Yeah.
in under 10 hours.
It's
Like-
cool shit.
And I feel like hot shit doing that, right? So now I want to do that with Fatalis, because there are people that still haven't cleared Fatalis. Like, could you imagine?
You'd
As far as I know,
you'd be
no
on
one has
Cloud9.
done this.
You'd be literally
As far
on
as I know,
Cloud9.
no one has done this.
Fatalis
and
run?
so I would, a from beginning to
One to
Fatalis.
Fatalis. Yeah.
Really? There hasn't been anyone
There's a
that's
good
tried
reason
that.
for it.
Yes, because
It
Fatalis
sucks.
sucks. This creature's terrible.
I love doing the hunt personally. Like I like getting the
Not
gear
solo.
that
Solo him is fucking
solo
awful.
him was terrible. I made a video on that. It was fucking awful. I still have to do a Latreon because I promised you that. But it's,
Yeah, fucking get on it.
You
I
haven't
will.
soloed a
Yeah,
Latreon?
that's
No,
like
I
the
haven't.
best
Soloed
fight in the entire game. But he didn't do a Latreon. Like,
It's the best fight in the game. Are you
It's
kidding
so
me?
it's an
good.
amazing fight. It's a really great fight. But like, no, yeah. What
And
was
now
I
you have
saying?
Fatalis gear. It's copium.
Yeah, no, it's really it's
Like,
Oh, that's
imagine
the thing.
imagine
In
fighting a
Ice, we
Latreon
gutted
with
Fatalis
3
armor.
Fatalis. Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you do to it?
it no longer grants true razor sharp and true spare shot, or the plus 100 fucking HP or something.
yeah.
Yes.
So
Oh,
it's,
we
it's
didn't get
good
rid of the
armor.
other
It's on
special-
all the slots. What
You didn't get rid of the other
Fatalis is-
thing?
Broken.
what other thing? The dragon.
The
soul
other-
thing.
Yeah, like the fact that it can the fact that it has the armor set bonus for every skill in the game.
I
It has
don't
the
know,
armor
to
set-
be honest.
That was like one of the things that I thought completely ruined mixed sets, because if you just gutted like spare shot, true razor sharp, and 100 health, I'm still using Fatalis gear.
because you would use it just because it has all the slots in the game, and you're just like, I can do whatever I want with it.
And all the DPS skills, and I need to use 4 of them to make sure that I have all the hidden like unlocked stuff. You go, Skoy, you're good. We'll talk without you.
Yeah, I'll have to double check. I know they removed some of the stuff. I don't know how much it was gutted because again, there's 2 different versions of Ice out there. So
yeah,
that's the other thing I want to do actually is I want to go back, and since I redid all the bowguns, I want to change all the armor around. I want to have all the alpha armor have like actual skills on them, like a good amount of usable skills, so you can build a set and be like, okay, I have some DPS, some survival skills, but all the alpha stuff has no decoration slots. It's for the people who haven't farmed decorations. Here's a complete set with stats on it, but you don't get any like customization options.
So you would remove all of the slots from alpha.
Yeah, but then give them like some specific skills on them. And then the beta would have less skills than their default. They would have like 1 or 2 stat like skill points tops, but then have a little bit more slots, so they're more customizable when you have decorations.
Okay.
And so you have like, do I have decos or not kind of armor sets.
Yeah. You get like copium in alpha and hopium in beta.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Which have like C and H like fucking letters at them. Copium and hopium sets. Because like for the people who are like playing new games and stuff, nobody wants to farm all the decorations again.
No.
Like especially trying to get like a mighty bow decoration, which is still funny that's like required to play bow and you have to grind for it.
They added that in as like just a guaranteed drop now. Like you start with mighty bow and like shield. You just start with those now. Yeah. When I did a run yesterday, it's unstable.
Okay.
It's like now you just start with that stuff.
Okay. You're talking about Ice. I thought you were talking about the game in general. I was like, what?
No, we're talking about Ice. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. So okay. So they give you those for free. Okay, but still, like people don't want to farm all the decorations. I would like to have an armor set for people who are getting through the game, getting through their first Ice playthrough, and they can actually make an armor set.
Yeah, it's called Defender.
No. Defender. Oh yeah, I destroyed the Defender lipo gun. It literally
you don't have to.
Ones on it.
They're just gonna take them out.
Oh my god!
Are they talking the Defender stuff?
I was talking to Moon about it. And I said Moon, like, because Moon asked my opinion on it, and I was like, I think, like, I gave him my 2 cents. I said either you take them out completely, but there's a caveat, like there's a case to be made that like it's content in the game that should be allowed. So I said either take it out completely or make it a actual like crafting requirement. Not like one iron scale. It's 1 iron ore, 1 Anjanat scale, a commendation, a Pinkian scale, a Nergi scale. That's it. To upgrade it to max.
Yeah, all the way through.
All the way through. I said make it like high rank, like rare ore, like whatever low rank versions of like pure crystal is, like a shit ton of those, like actual like Anjanath parts. Like you need like 3 pelts and 5 scales and the hide and like a large fangs. Yeah, give up 1 fang, but then make the fang drop rate like -0.5. They take them from you.
It's never gonna get it.
Low.
Why is it negative?
Tried getting fang? They never fucking drop.
Dude, I was playing 3 Ultimate one time, and I was trying to grind up for like a Bracky gem. It took me 14 hours to get a Bracky gem.
Yeah, old school Monster Hunter games. You made you work to make your sets and stuff.
They really did.
You really had to put in that effort. It's not like, oh, we have investigations or like crazy like drop bonuses where just like, oh, our gem drop is like 4% off anything.
I hated that stuff. I like World and the fact that it takes no effort to build anything. Because this is the thing. There is a difference between tedium and difficulty. Old World games are tedious, and that's what made them hard. New World is less tedious, but they also kind of watered down like the essence of Monster Hunter in this. I am very happy I only have to hunt a monster like 2 or 3 times instead of 50 or 60 to get the materials that I need. And also to that, I think I speak for all 3 of us here. I ain't got time to play old world games anymore. I ain't got time to go back and farm like an endgame gear set in for
like cats, man. Don't have to do any of that shit. No charm. Every time I kill a monster, I get a full armor set. Don't give a shit.
Kill one monster, scrap all of it. I can make the entire beach civilization with all the cats on it armor for this monster now.
Yeah. That's actually what's
my
been really
gosh.
holding me together in Geo. I'm like, I only have to fight a monster like once or twice.
That's actually fair. But like,
I hope they
but
implement
that
it
makes my
soon.
point.
It is, but here's the other thing. Here's the flip side of that. So the other problem with that is like the current situation on Rise, where nobody wants to play because there's nothing to do except grind like Narawa or whatever to do like the gem meldings for your decorations, which is bullshit in itself. Like, I feel like if they had stuff in place to have targetable things to grind for, that was still kind of a nuisance that you had to actually like put in a bunch of effort to grind it. But there was a specific thing that you could do to get something quicker, then that would be great. Like if they had charms, or let's just say, fuck the charms. Charms are terrible. You could build all the decorations, and it was like World, where you had to get decorations from investigations, but every monster had a slightly higher chance of dropping a specific set of decorations. That would force you to go out and fight other monsters and grind things and do stuff quicker, but you'd feel like it's more rewarding because you're like, oh, I actually can get this, I know, from this monster. And you
get like all the water decos, get it from like a water monster. All the fire decos, get it from a fire monster. All like that would make a lot of sense. It'll make you fight that monster again because like they never get used otherwise.
Because in Rise, you don't go back and fight like most of the monsters. You fight like 3 at the end.
We're just gonna keep talking so he doesn't talk. No, don't let him talk.
Guiding lands and augments. You're literally describing what guiding lands and augments is.
And
it's
I
brilliant.
Like
it's perfect.
Nobody else liked it. I like the guiding lands a lot. The problem is also Capcom destroyed the guiding lands in all their updates, where they made you have to go back up there to kill one monster to get the next upgrade, and then you did it, and that was it. And there was no other reason to go back. If they did like the decoration thing, where you could use the guiding lands to actually get specific decorations, it would have been genius.
They did it for charms, didn't they?
But for talismans, you just craft.
No. But we had to get materials from the guiding lands to be able to upgrade the charms.
Yeah, but you do it like once, and it's right away, and it's like, that's it.
Yeah. So like, but that's what I'm getting at, is that like the end game, like the tedium that should exist in the game, this like grinding aspect should not exist during the game. It should exist at the end of the game, because there is a fan base that only wants to play the game. Take me for an example. I only wanted to play The Witcher, and I only played The Witcher. I did not want to continue my Witcher adventure after I finished the game. I didn't want 100% it. I didn't want to go through the tedium of finishing everything.
Making a lot of enemies here today.
Good. I'm ready.
It's gonna be in my corner. I'm already in my corner. Let me be here. Just you guys.
But like, you don't. There's a very large, especially in Western audiences, there's a huge attention span issue that we have in the West, right? Where people, they just want their experience. They want to pay $60 to get their experience for 60 hours, maybe 40 hours. I legitimately, whenever I spend $60, I expect 20.
With 10 hours.
Dude, if I spend $60, I'm good with 20. I'm good with 20 hours of experience. All right. I got 14 hours out of Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. I got 14 hours out of Shining Pearl, and just the playthrough. But I'm gonna keep playing that game. I'm gonna finish the decks. I'm gonna do I'm gonna get my value out of it eventually. But if I can get 15 to 20 hours out of a $60 game, I'm happy, right? And I feel like that the majority of the Western audience is the same way. They want to pay money for an experience that they can get through in a reasonable amount of time. I don't know what everyone else's version of reasonable is, but I hate playing a video game for like more than 3 days. Like, if I can finish a game in a week in like 4-hour settings, I'm really happy, because that's all the time that I have, right? Like I don't
have playing a game for your entire life.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that game.
I can only hold my attention span for like 3 days for a game, because I'm playing this game every single day for 16 years.
Baby, no, I spent $60 on you just to play you for 4 days. You my side game.
Yeah.
A side bitch.
You got going on there.
But I really do feel like, okay, that's me. I think most people expect to get 30 to 40 hours out of a game.
Yeah, that's really reasonable. Yeah.
I'm just, I got the attention span of like this, and if it's not like hitting every synapses in my brain, I'm done with it.
Yeah, no.
But I mean, like it's just like removing that tedium that adds a lot of time into the game while you're playing the game is, I think, a really bad approach. Putting that shit at the end of the game for the people that actually want that grind and that experience, you have like little bits of it throughout, and we do, right? We did, like, you can charm farm in the middle of high rank, right? Before you go into master rank, you can charm, or you can deco farm. Go for it, have fun. Yep. It's terrible, but you can do it, right? And having that accessibility, that availability, is good for people like you and me who would do that, but there is a large, like, the way that Monster Hunter is becoming, excluding Rise, the way that Monster Hunter is becoming, like with World, is the way that I want the game to continue. Remove tedium, add actual challenges. Were there actual challenges in World? 4, maybe. I would say tempered, like, there were like 4.
Hella fun. I really like those.
Yeah, tempered and high rank art tempered. High ranked art tempers were like the most fun the game ever was. The moment everything hit master rank. I know, right? Arc tempered Luna. That's the first time I ever built a safety set for a monster.
Arc tempered Luna, I still don't think is as hard as like the optional quest Luna, because that, for whatever reason, has like twice in life it normally has.
There was a lot of prepping in terms of like builds in like base end game than there was in Rise. I feel like
Master Rank.
not Rise. Sorry, not Rise. Sorry, not Rise. Iceborne.
Because Iceborne, it was all, you're using this one armor set. Every single person was like, that's what you're using.
Because it's base like all you need, and you just change one deco.
Yeah. I like.
Do I need brace or not need brace? That's it. That's like it's like your deciding factor in mastering. Those are your 2 sets. You have 2 sets for every weapon. Need brace or not need brace.
Well, it's because you could just put on every skill in the game. It's just like
exactly.
Yeah, but no, like Rise or Iceborne gave me more options for like anime builds and just have more fun with like messing around with different weird builds that you can make.
You'd even be more successful with that in the game like Gen U, honestly.
Really?
Like Gen U would be amazing
Gen U's got
for
some
that.
crazy shit.
Can you do some crazy shit? I feel like it's a table is like makes it limiting.
There is a skill in the game called Trump Card. It is my favorite skill in the entire game. That only activates under certain circumstances. I couldn't tell you, but the one circumstance that I do know is that when you use the frenzy hunting art, it activates and it increases your status and affinity by like a fuck ton. I use it for Trump Card status wax. It's so much fun. It's just you literally infect yourself with frenzy and then overcome it to get a DPS to get the DPS boost.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
It's so cool. It's the coolest skill in the entire game. It's the coolest like combination in the entire game.
That I really wish Monster Hunter would start leaning in towards, that other games and RPGs do, is so Monster Hunter is pretty much like, okay, every weapon has this moveset, and all the skills that you can do in your game just up numbers. And that's it. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like other RPGs where like, hey, you're going to have like your fire damage causes fire dots, or like, hey, if you hit an ice monster with a fire attack, it does like some little explosion, or like, hey, we're going to change this attack to have this property, or do just weird stuff to like change the way you would play the game or how you would build your character. None of that is in Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter's entire game is you do this and then you can up numbers, and that's it. Nothing else. So that's why I really liked Gen. We had like arts and styles, and which is why I still like Rise, because you can change some of the stuff on how your character plays. Granted, Gen, it was a lot more customizable. Mm-hmm. But I wish it would go like and lean into that more and give you actual more options to change the way you play, other than just, hey, this armor makes your weapon do more damage, or this this longsword is the same as every other longsword except it just does more numbers.
That's why I'm like in loving GU, because it's just like you can literally play GU however you want. There's like 10 different styles per weapon, and you could just like have an absolute blast. Also, Doge, hello.
Dog.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's Dio.
Lapdog.
Lapdog.
Not really.
Not really.
Obviously.
I think the dog's taking over the podcast.
Sam is being attacked by Dio.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No, you're fine. We welcome the pets and the chaos.
Now we get more views. All right, here we go.
Actually, I mean, you know, you can just put him in the chair. Like that'd be cool.
I'll just make that the thumbnail.
If I could get the dogs to sit still for a minute, I would definitely have a second webcam up for my streams and have that cam. But they just run up and down the halls all day.
Just have a camera on the dog, and just have that.
I need to attach a GoPro. What's the battery life of a GoPro?
I don't know. They can last for a while.
Good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But you can just imagine that. Just be like, you see him go around the house and everything.
I could have that on a stream 24 hours. It just attach a GoPro to a dog and let it go.
The life of Fem's dog. Just
pet stream. Have fun.
Pet stream. Hell yeah.
It's just a picture of a camera stuffed into a pillow for like 12 hours. And then they'll get up.
The other 12, it's like this just incomprehensible blur.
Yeah. You just cannot handle.
If you have it with audio, you just hear the huffing and puffing from the dog. It's just
oh god, GoPro audio is terrible, by the way, because it's always inside the housing, so it's shaking inside the housing. It's just
yeah. I've seen some GoPro audio.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, would you guys like to see, going back to the topic of like Gen Ultimate, would you guys like to see something like for Monster Hunter 6 whenever it comes out in 2023? Would you guys like to see something like that implemented into the newer games and have like GU mechanics into newer games?
I don't want Monster Hunter to revert to its old play style because it's super clunky. I know people like it, but it's
not for the clunk,
dated.
But I mean for the abilities and what you can do.
Yes, like some of the mechanics and systems they have. Yes, definitely want that. Like again, switch skills, whatever the fuck they're called in GU, Hunter Arts and styles. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. I would love to have that stuff come back. Even Rise, I like wire bug moves and switch skills. I love like having more options to customize my moveset because that's something Monster Hunter desperately needs. They need to come back with Prowler Mode because it was the best thing they added, and I'm tired of Monster Hunter leaving shit behind, like underwater combat and Prowler.
What do they call it with Palamutes though? Do you still call it Prowler? Like what would the Palamutes?
Palamutes?
I mean,
sorry.
Palamutes. No.
I don't understand the wording Prowler. Like why is it called Prowler?
Like a stalker. It's another word for like stalking.
Well, yeah, but why is playing as a cat called a Prowler?
Because it's a pun. Prowler.
Okay, I don't know. I don't get the naming convention.
I think in the Japanese,
Manta, but it's cat. I don't know
it's because it's like warrior or some shit. I don't. But it's more obvious in the Japanese. And in English, it just sucks. But it's supposed to be like a pun on like purr and like being a prowler, like which is like a hunting cat is called a prowler.
I guess they could still just call it Prowler in English and just have you play as the cat or the dog.
You want to play as a dog though? I would.
I think it would be cool. So just
for the
get
option.
into my mind for a minute. Multiplayer hunt. You have 4 people. Okay. One person's a dog, and everyone else is like the cat. But you can ride the dogs, so you can get all your different people riding you as the dog.
There's gonna be a lot of trolling. There's gonna be a lot of trolling. Just someone's you're gonna get on the dog. They're gonna leave.
All right, everyone, get on the bus.
Even if you're playing solo, like if you had your cats as your backup, you'd be your dog, and then when you start running, they would just jump on you. Like
maybe like a Final Fantasy thing with like 8 mounts or like 8 people mounts. Imagine just like 3 cats on a dog just running around.
Why not? Can the dog ride a dog? I like all the dog attacks and stuff. Like I would love to play as the dog.
Can the dog ride a dog?
I mean, it can.
Well, not that kind of riding. That's normal. Just
no. I just want to see 4 Palamutes stacked on top of each other, and the one in the bottom running with like this tower of dogs.
They're just blobbing on top of the dog.
It wouldn't be allowed in game, and then you just be a mod, and it just looks like they're just static, like dogs stacked, like just moving.
Stack them.
Like T-posing in there, but they're just like.
Did you ever play like Counter-Strike like 1.6 or whatever?
No.
Way back when?
Oh, absolutely not.
No, never mind.
I'm too young. I'm too young for that shit. Sorry, fam.
I just was not interested.
That's the thing you can do in the game where if you like crouch and jumped on someone, you could just stand on them, and then like if you stand up and jump, then you would stand on them, and you can make like towers of people and just move as like a tower of.
We did that in Overwatch with like Reinhardt stacking on top of each other and just have like a wall of Reinhardt shields.
Yeah, it's fun shit. Let's do that, but just dogs. It's just on top of dogs.
No, that would be really cool though, and like have like the different like dog weapons, like you'd be able to use like umbrella and stuff.
Yeah, and like the fangs and the shurikens, and like they have like their little sickle thing that they spin around. Like they've got a lot of stuff, and they could expand on it because the cat move system is like crazy in depth. There's so much stuff they have in the cat like tool belt. Dogs need it too.
I keep forgetting I bring my cat instead of my dog. I keep like holding A when I bring my cat. It's like, oh yeah, I can't ride my cat. It's just like, imagine just like
the design oversight for Rise maps is like, why would you ever bring a cat? You need the dog to get around for the most part until you get like the camps and you feel comfortable, like where monsters spawn. And once you start getting in like to the more meta game playing, you probably don't need a dog. But I think 99% of the people would always pick the dog over the cat.
I mean,
it's extremely
even in meta play, they
fast-paced.
bring 2 dogs with umbrellas.
Yeah.
Do they? I thought they were using cats for status application.
Not that well. So for a while I was watching Zan do GS speedruns, and he always just brought 2 dogs with umbrella.
Okay, because I know when we were doing bowgun stuff, we were swapping between cats and dogs, but we would end up using cats because they were better at status applications. You'd get like a paralysis quicker.
Oh, he's doing sleep with 2 dogs with the umbrella, and he'd get like 2 sleeps a hunt.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, so.
It's just yeah, whatever optimization it is, but even still, it's just like it's just, you're absolutely right. Like there's no like there's like not like a comfy way to traverse without a dog.
Yeah,
I don't play the game without a dog.
The hunt will be done before I get there with the cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to, I mean, moving with wirebugs is pretty fun.
It's a lot of fun.
So
we need
cool.
Spider-Man mods for Rise.
We'll get there.
That'll be a thing.
It'll
Just give me infinite
wire.
wirebug. Infinite wirebug. I'm gonna go to space.
I wonder what can be traversed with infinite wirebugs, to be honest. I'm wondering what places you can get to that you shouldn't be able to get to.
I mean, you essentially have infinite wirebugs. You just have to time it and everything, like with the wirebug you have. And there's also abilities where you can last longer with the wirebugs. Or like, it recharges faster.
There's no combination that would allow you to continue climbing upward.
Yeah.
No.
No, because you always go at like this weird angle and you would hit a wall and just get like, you can't go like straight up.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I thought you meant like.
But what I'm getting at is like you cannot continue to gain height with wirebug, without like it. Like you can't have enough like recovery with wirebug to keep just going straight up.
To get height.
Oh, okay.
You can do it to get distance, but you always fall. You like arc. So like I've seen a lot of videos where they have like the 3 levels of wirebug whisperer to get the regen faster and 3 wirebugs, and they can go really far this way, but they keep dropping, and they get like 7 uses while they're in the air, right? Like 7 wirebug uses while they're in the air. So like they're 3 initial, then 4 more, but then they hit the ground. You can't use it to gain height. They don't regen fast enough to gain height yet.
Yeah.
Give me an armor set that gives me an extra wirebug and like a 50% cooldown and like wirebug whisper secret, and let me climb to space.
I'm curious what Sunbreak is going to add.
Yeah, Sunbreak will be interesting.
I'm excited for that. I'm generally excited for like new Monster Hunter content in general. Like that's what I'm most excited for. But
I'm not excited for new Rampage hunts.
I don't know if they'll add that. I don't know.
Think they're gonna add any either.
They could not. They literally could not. But that was like the only end game system they have in Rise is Rampage. They have normal hunts and Rampage. Mm-hmm.
Well, they got rid of
don't add any of that. They'd have to add in a whole nother system and then completely abandon all the work they did on the Rampage system, which would be par for the course, to be honest. But also,
there it is.
But I mean, like, they partly have information on they definitely do have information on the system that shows like how often people do rampages, how often people do this hunt, because they did that for World. Yeah, I know. Well, they did it for World as well, where it's just like, this is how many times people have hunted this monster and this monster. Mm-hmm. Granted, it's only because like they give you better materials or decorations, so that's why that monster is like the most hunted. But yeah, I don't know.
I think that's going to be skewed though by like G rank Peko. You know, doing about 1 billion fucking Diablos rampages.
Or well, just how many Narwhals do you think were killed from people doing all the Narwhal farm?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's probably, I don't know. Yeah.
But I see, because there are in the entire game, if you play from start, like the very beginning of Rise, you know, from one of the twins going ada to you as you wake up to All Mother. If you do that, there are 2 required rampages, and that's it.
Yep.
There are only 2.
And they also, it was supposed to be a whole part of the story thing, and they don't explain shit. Why is Magna Malo there? Why is he a part of the rampage? Why does the Narwa Nobushi storm thing cause rampage? They don't explain any of that shit.
There's no lore to it or rhyme
Like you
or
get to the end, and then you kill like Narwa, and you're like and they were the cause of the rampage. Like how? Why? Like,
Do you know what's
you
funny? Didn't they like technically completely scrap out the All Mother quest or something?
What do you mean?
Well, they
Because it's just
redid it.
like well, I don't know, or they completely scrapped out Narwa. I don't know what it was, but it was just like they fell into the hole, and then now we're gonna fall into the hole. Like now they pretty much like overwritten that, and it's just
they
like
they rewrote the ending, which is what they did when they added All Mother. They got rid of like that ending, and then put in the All Mother fight, because that's the actual ending.
did they completely overwrite it in like the game, like when you update it, or is it just like does it still happen when you go through?
No,
the game?
it's still there.
It still
okay.
happens. All that
It's
stuff
just-
still happens.
That's why it's so
It's
confusing.
a retcon.
Yeah.
The
Who
fight wasn't
rebuilt
done.
this coral who rebuilt this coral temple so that Ibushi could fall through the floor again?
Like the bill isn't there, just like, all right, fixed. All Mother, what the fuck? We just fixed it. Yeah, I found that weird. Like when I was,
Well, it's also how you could show that the game was not done. Literally, the last fight had to get remade or finished made.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No,
Pretty
and
much.
I don't know, because like seeing that, I feel like rampages are going to be in Sunbreak, but
Few.
they're not going to be required.
No.
Like they not as, if anything, one with the new Elder Dragon will be required, and that's it.
I just hope they give more rewards for the hunts that you do, because the Apex monsters, they gave you no rewards.
They gave you tickets.
That's it.
Yeah, they
That
give
was
you
the point.
tickets, but it's like I like the Apex monsters, to be honest. I think they're some of the best fights in Rise because they're not a pushover. Like,
They're great fights, but you don't get anything from
yeah,
them
but
to
that's the problem
build.
with Rise. It's just not much of a reason to do anything.
Hmm.
Like you
There's
can't
no
go
reason
out
to
and
grind.
grind for anything. You can make all your decorations pretty quickly, and then the charm tables are just fucked beyond belief, and so you're just kind of playing to play. And that's fine. That's
Yeah.
not what's going to keep people's attention. The reason why people kept playing like World and stuff is because they had a deco farm. Everyone had to deco farm. You were hunting. There was a bunch of different things you had to hunt. Granted, it was just all the same Elder Dragons, but there was always something to hunt. And then they kept bringing out new monsters and new things to hunt, which gave us the problem with the power creep that they had to do. But it's like, I kind of prefer that more than Rise, where they didn't add anything. And then you're just
agree.
like, I'm playing until I get bored, and then like that's it. Like,
Because the other thing
I
about
need a
power
reason
creep
to
too.
play a game.
Yeah. Because the other thing about power creep too is that you can just choose not to use that equipment. Like you can make that decision. Like there's like one of the things that I absolutely hate hearing, which is kind of true, but I hate people complaining about it, is that Fatalis armor like ruins end game Iceborne. And like it does,
because that's the end. You're done. Like that's it.
right. That's the last one. And they're like, yeah, but like it trivializes all the hunts. I'm like, then just don't use it. Like, but why not? Like it's the best gear. Like I can't help you anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been
People
going
don't
back
wanna
and
limit
like
themselves.
yeah, I've been going back and like making like straight like this is just Raging Bracky. Like give me the Raging Bracky weapon and then just the Raging Bracky armor and then go and do hunts in that. It's been a lot of fun. But now I'm just gonna play Ice.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
Is that
fun.
what we're gonna do for speedruns now? Is just doing nice, or is it?
No,
Yeah,
those are hard.
Yeah.
And they take like an hour longer. My Xeno percent was 4 hours long. Oh.
Jesus, how long was your entire run in general? Because I was surprised he even popped into call right afterwards after you streamed.
It was like 9:30.
Well, yeah, but you were just streamed.
Real time, it took 10 hours and like 20 minutes. In game time, it was 9 hours 39 minutes.
Oh, okay. I thought 9. I thought it was 8. But all right.
No, yeah, I was just under like 10 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Long
Yeah, it was long.
thing.
So you're probably just gonna continue with your usual vanilla runs. Oh, okay.
I don't know. I want to play Final Fantasy. That's all I want to do right now. So
Well,
No,
you got,
yeah,
like,
I know
a
about
month
Final
before
Fantasy.
Rise is out on PC, so
That's
yeah,
gonna be
that's the other
exciting.
problem too. Like I still I like I know what I want to do between now and then, but I don't really know what I want to do between now and then because when Rise comes out on PC, I want to start speedrunning it. So like between now and then, it's like I can keep
filling time.
like, do I keep doing speedruns so I feel relevant, or do I do something that I'm having fun with, you know, and feel like less relevant, right? Because like every Rise stream that I ever did, hey, we're talking numbers. Every Rise stream that I ever did on the Switch was like, you know, tanked, right? Like in comparison to me doing like world stuff, like you know, the 19 viewers watching Rise versus like the 90 some odd that I had yesterday watching Sharp%. So it's like it's like an entire difference in like content and stuff.
Well, could it be
So
that
if I can find,
well, you already have like you already have like a core world audience though. Like it'd be, I mean, I don't know if like it'll be like rebuilding when you hop into Rise. I don't know.
It's because no one wants to watch Rise. That's the problem. Like no one, like it took most people. It took most people like 2 or 3 days to get through Rise, and then another like 2 months to realize that there's nothing else to do in Rise, so people stopped playing Rise. And like one of the biggest facets to the world community still existing and people still being interested in world is the fact that we can still do like community lobbies and people are still enjoying playing the game, and there's still things to do in the game. There are people that have been playing since release that still haven't finished like you still haven't finished soloing Elatrian, and like setting yourself goals like that because the game is both equally fun and also has things to do, you know, motivates you to continue playing it. There's just no motivation for anyone else to play it, and why do they want to watch someone else that also just doesn't have that motivation, you know? So I'm hoping that when it comes out on PC that I'm going to do another playthrough. I might use Gunlance this time because it's a weapon I really like and I want to get good with it. And then when I do that, I'm going to, well, despite damage, yeah, but like that's the other thing too, is that the moment I turned off like my meta mentality when it came to Rise, I was having a lot more fun. I've been playing with Lance.
Here's how you have more fun with Gunlance and stuff. Turn off damage numbers. That's it.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea.
That's all you gotta do.
Then there's damage numbers in World too, right? Was there?
Yeah. Just turn them off.
Yeah, World introduced damage numbers.
So I'm all in all though, I'm genuinely excited for Rise on PC.
Yeah,
though.
same.
It's gonna be really exciting.
Playing on PC. I just stopped playing because I just only play on the Switch. I don't like the Switch controllers. I don't like the Switch input drops. I don't like the Switch frame rates. I don't like playing online on the Switch. I don't really like the Switch. I feel like I'm gonna have more fun like doing runs and playing on PC.
It's definitely more accessible for me as well, since I'm literally on my PC 24/7. So it's just like it's just like someone says, "Hey, I want to play Rise." Oh, sure, just double click the icon and I'm in, kind of thing. Or
setting up Rise stuff on Switches. You like your Switch?
I like my Switch for other things though. I don't like my Switch for Monster Hunter games. I do like my Switch for Pokemon and Animal Crossing.
One game that is not Monster Hunter on my Switch.
Is it Pokemon?
No, it's Mario Party.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I should have known that.
You play with them, literally.
That's literally the only thing that's on my Switch that is not Monster Hunter.
The new Mario Party is great.
GU and Rise.
The new Mario Party is fantastic.
The new Mario Party is good.
Like they did a lot better than the last one.
They need more maps though. They don't have enough maps.
I have a feeling they're going to be continuously updating.
We played one. We played one map.
They only have like 4 maps, maybe 5 maps.
Is it really only?
I mean, but then they're going to remaster the other ones. I feel like.
Maybe. But then isn't it also you get to pick like your rule set, like which?
Yeah, we could change generation. The rule set, we could do that. I don't know. I just want more maps.
Yeah, no, I feel like you will. I feel like you're definitely.
Is one of them? Is one of them Bob-omb Beach? I like that one a lot, where it's like the straight line, you get to the end and then you get blown up back to the beginning.
The only maps they have like the Wispy Woods, the cake level, like Peach's birthday,
Yeah.
Cake.
the
They have the
space satellite one.
The cake one is weird because it's just
Is there a Bowser one?
there's now a Bowser one.
the Bowser satellite is one,
Really?
Okay. It's a space one.
and then they have like
Space.
well, they have the great haunted graveyard
Oh,
with,
boo.
like, boots and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think they have like one more. I think there's only like 5 maps.
Mm.
It's
It's a
fun.
good thing we have that other Mario Party game too. So we have 2 Mario Party games that make almost an entire functioning Mario Party game.
Almost.
Yeah, well, I
say
mean, the other
almost.
one, well, the other one was kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
The first one they had on the Switch, like they didn't have the online functionality until like recently.
Nintendo is so back assward.
They're
This
ahead
entire time.
and behind.
This entire time, the Switch could connect with Bluetooth headphones.
And they're just
We
like,
didn't get that until 5 years later.
yeah, Nintendo doesn't know what the fuck they're doing, dude.
What?
It's, like I said, they're ahead
But
and
here's the thing,
behind.
so they can connect to Bluetooth shit. So it's like you should be able to connect to Bluetooth controllers, but you can't. Like,
You can. It's a firmware
it's a
problem.
well, if it's a
It's
Switch
a-
controller,
Exactly, because it's a firmware thing. Because the Switch Joy-Cons and the Pro Controller are all Bluetooth controllers, just like your Xbox your Xbox. Yeah, no, Xbox One and your PS4 and your PS5 and your Xbox Series, whatever, are
X,
all
yeah.
Bluetooth controllers. No, they're all Bluetooth controllers.
Hmm.
So you can technically use them with this. It's a firmware thing that says you can't. Just like it was for the headphones, right? Like it was just
Mhm.
wasn't in the software. It
So
wasn't programmed
weird.
in.
It's
And
so
like that
weird.
is something that pissed me off. It's like we could have just done this the entire time. I didn't have to buy a $15 dongle
yeah.
to shove into the bottom of my Switch that now I can't even charge just to use my headphones. Pissed. Mad.
So funny. I don't know. Nintendo's really weird. It's just like they're advanced and behind at the same time. I don't know how they.
I wouldn't say they're fans. They're just the only people that have enough money to kind of just do wacky stuff. It's
To
never
do shit
really
like this.
advanced.
Nobody thought this was going to succeed.
I miss clamshell stuff. I really like clamshell design, like clamshell phones and stuff. I really like it because you get more screen space and then you get the save space. Like I don't know, I really like it. The 3DS I thought was great.
Are you gonna get the Game Boy SP Samsung phone? The
No?
Samsung Fold, the Fold Z. It's a smartphone
Oh, yeah.
that folds, but it's all one screen.
I've
And,
seen
and,
it.
and then it,
I've seen that. I would
These are
get
sick.
it. The problem is that costs money.
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's like $1,500 or some shit.
Yeah.
What?
My phone
Why?
is like it's just like a Moto G phone that I bought when I quit my job. Cost me $100 because it was
Perfect.
last year's old Moto G. And I tell you,
Let's
I don't
go.
like phones. I don't like cameras. So anytime like anyone from my family like texts or calls me, I just look at the phone. I'm like, I'm not answering that.
I love technology.
I know.
I always buy, like every 2 years I buy a new phone and I figure out what the
Why?
literally
Okay, I'm like that with computers. I don't like
Well, that
phones,
makes
I don't like
sense.
cameras. But every year, like I'll buy a laptop on Black Friday, and then the next year I'll upgrade my PC, and I just alternate those every year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like that. Well, I mean, you're using it literally all the time. But I mean, like with the phone, I literally use this until it breaks. That's the only time I use my phone.
I'm the same way. I
Like
don't
once
get
it
rid of my
breaks, then I
phones.
buy a new phone.
I use it for work is my problem, right? So like, but the other day I needed to, I was like at work and I was like feeling motivated to like work on something for like, like the channel. And my tablet, I just got my tablet. So I didn't have that yet. And I didn't have a laptop because it died on me. But I did have my phone and I remoted in from my phone and used my stylus pen on my phone to do a Photoshop edit sitting on the Wi-Fi at a Tijuana Flats. I was having lunch, and for an hour I just sat there and was like, I couldn't do that on like a phone that didn't work, right? Like on like an old shitty phone. I need, I don't need it, but I need the fancy.
I mean, but yeah, but that's the thing. You use it for work. Like
Yeah.
I use it
people
for
who are more casual, like myself, who I'm at home most of the time, and I don't need to go out and do stuff. Like if I need to do it, I have a computer. Like, what do I need a phone for?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's also why I'm not really big into like mobile gaming and like Nintendo stuff, which is like Switch gaming, because like I don't need the portable part, because like, and I have a laptop if I'm really gonna be out. So it's like that's also why, like, as much as people like the Steam Deck and it looks great, I'm not gonna get it because I don't have a reason to play portable PC stuff.
I know you're getting it. You with new tech, Jal, you just buy everything that's new.
I just don't do the whole mobile gaming thing. It's like I don't want to. Yeah. If anywhere that I would use it, I would be able to use my laptop. So
here's my thing about the Steam Deck though, because I got it not because I wanted to play Steam games on the go.
He wants to play Stories too. That's it.
That's really.
I want to play.
What everyone's gonna get it for.
I want to play Steam games on my TV, not through the Steam Deck. Steam Deck sucks. Right? It has a quarter. Steam's wireless, Steam's remote play. Yeah. They built a little box that is just remote play functionality. All it does is it's a box that connects to the internet. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all it does. So you can play your Steam library remote on like other TVs and stuff. So all it does is connects to my PC and then streams my PC playing this game onto that TV. Mm-hmm. That's cool. But there's a quarter of a second of delay that gets even worse if I'm using the internet, which is just any game ever. And so I have this really big 75-inch TV in my living room that I can't play Monster Hunter World on. You know how upsetting that is? You know, you can actually plug your computer into your TV. The computer lives here. This is his home.
You have a dual PC.
Well, that's what I do.
I'll get another one eventually, but
get a third one.
But the Steam Deck is essentially a mini computer. Like that's just what it is. Like, and it's going to be able to run a lot of games at like mediocre quality, and I'm here for it. Yeah, and I can drop that bad boy into a dock and hook it up to my TV, and I can play World there with zero input lag, with just wireless controller input lag, which is anywhere between 1/16 to 1/8 of a second. I'll be happy. I know what that's like. I got the Elgato capture card that's a PCIe card for your computer because it was supposed to allow you to play off the captured monitor without any delay because it's directly through your PCIe slot. Delay. Guess what?
There's still delay.
And it's really minor. I know it's really minor, but I can feel it when I play Monster Hunter. And
I feel it when I play rhythm games because I can't play rhythm games on it.
No, Skoy, this is different. You're playing through the remote play app on your TV. What? That's post render. That's post render for the Elgato. So the Elgato is rendering that capture and redisplaying it onto your TV, onto your screen. He's talking about the HDMI pass through that's on the HD60 Pro. It's the same one I have.
That's what I
play on your screen.
Yeah. That's how I play through you.
Oh, I was watching you with the remote play, and you were closing you were having problems with like the remote play opening and closing during stream once. Do you just recapture with your remote play? The game capture app.
What's the game capture? Yeah, I'm using the game capture app to.
No. That's post render. Yeah. So you're playing with input lag. There's an HDMI pass through on the actual capture card that is native, that is air quotes native, like it just should be HDMI a direct
1-to-1, like no delay. But
there's still delay. There's always going to be delay. Like if there's anything that passes through, I feel like there's always going to be like some form of delay until there's zero pass through.
You should RMA that because mine's perfect. Like mine works perfectly. My pass through, my HDMI pass through works perfectly.
For your PC, like because you're using dual PC setup, so it works just perfectly fine.
For my Switch is what I'm getting at because I watch my Switch through the HDMI pass through on the Elgato. Mm-hmm. Like that's how it's getting to the computer is through that HDMI pass through, and it's perfect. I can even put up like side by side my PC and the Elgato pass through like on a different monitor, and it's identical, right? So like you might just have a shitty You might have a borked, Elgato capture card, which happens, right? Like Brim got one recently, and he had to RMA it.
RMA it.
Oh, I've had mine for like
Return it.
3 years.
I think it's fine. It's
went and bought,
manageable.
like,
I just can't play
a
rhythm
$30
games.
one off Amazon, like just some shitty Chinese one, and it works great. So
Yeah, that works fine.
Well, I mean,
Elgato cards are so expensive now. Like when I bought my HD60 Pro, it was like $80. I was like, oh, that's expensive. Now it's like $250. I'm like, fuck that.
Yep.
It's crazy. Holy shit.
Like even getting like a cam link right now is impossible, and I'm like looking. The next time a cam link goes on
Getting
sale, I'm
anything
buying
is
one.
impossible right now.
Oh my goodness. I was lucky enough to get mine way ahead of time. Well, actually, I got mine during a convention. I got mine when I was out, so it was just like, yeah, it would have been sold out everywhere else, but like if you're out in conventions and stuff like that, they have product there. So buy it out in conventions where it's overpriced anyways. So
Yeah, right.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, I think about covers all that we really want to talk about, unless there's any more.
We ranted for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta start actually heading out too, so that's actually good. So perfect. Well, thank you, Fem, for joining us and ranting about Monster Hunter and a plethora of other things. It's always fun.
Anytime. I love talking about video games. That's
Hell yeah.
all I do. That's literally
Yeah.
all I do. I have no life.
Or
What?
Yeah.
Your life is with us here on the internet.
Oh. I was like, what? But what we usually like to do when we bring guests here on the podcast is let them know that what we're doing right now is kind of like introducing every new person, and then eventually we'll bring you on, probably if you're interested in coming back on with another random guest, and we'll just kind of have like a 4-person
And then you
conversation.
just keep building up, so you're gonna have like 40 people at some point.
Exactly.
By season 10, we're gonna have 40 people. Yes.
Yeah.
On
All
one
in one call,
podcast.
and we're all gonna hate
One
it.
conversation.
One conversation.
You should do like some
Totally
elimination thing, so you just start knocking people out. Like if you just start asking questions.
Like deal or
And just
no
start-
deal kind of thing. Just
I didn't like what you just said there. Yeet.
banned.
Deleted, yeah,
Disconnect.
just gone.
Later. But yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for listening to Gamer Breakfast. If you guys want to see more of Phemeto and the cool things that he does, be sure to check out the links below. All of his stuff will be down there, like his Twitter and like his Twitch and like his YouTube and like his OnlyFans. Is that something you do?
Not publicly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so
Well,
you won't-
Do we get
his-
it? I'm kidding.
His OnlyFans won't be down there. But guys, please do definitely go check out Phemeto. And thank you guys for watching and listening, and we will see you next time
Yeah, thanks guys.
on Gamer Brunchfest.
It is brunch. It's noon for me as brunch, so
Yeah. All right, much love, you
Goodbye,
guys.
everybody.
Goodbye.
peace.